I want to unclutter your mind. Welcome back to Mindset Monday. I'm Gene Zanetti, your coast-to-coast mindset coach. We spoke about this topic a lot. We want to unclutter our minds. We want our thinking process to be clear, positive, proactive. A lot of us have a lot of garbage in our mind from years of experience. Maybe it's media, movies, music that's really tangled our mind up. Really, modern man is sick, and it's a sickness not of the heart. There's a lot of people with very good intentions. Modern man is sick in the mind. We're all guilty of it. We all have this. We all have that disease of stinking thinking, where our thinking is negative, it's not proactive, it's much more passive, and it's very cluttered. So what I want to do today is I want to share with you 3 great worksheets, so 3 great lists that are going to help unclutter your mind. So the first one is cognitive distortions. In my doctoral program, cognitive psychology, I took that class and there was a list of cognitive distortions. Basically, it's thinking mistakes that people make on a regular basis. Things like black or white thinking, thinking that things are all or nothing, overgeneralization. These are common mistakes that we all make in our thinking. We want to share that list with you. That's not my list. This is taken from my doctoral program, cognitive psychology. There's a lot of research behind this. We'll send a link to that article, cognitive distortions. You could look that up. You could Google it. But we'll send that over to you. Number 2, logical fallacies. So a lot of us are complaining why we're in a bad situation with economy, politics, all this kind of stuff. Well, guess what? It has a lot to do with our bad thinking in terms of our inability to evaluate debates and to evaluate arguments. Now, this used to be part of the medieval classical education. There was a thing called the trivium. You had to learn how to think, the art of language, which was grammar, logic, and rhetoric. We don't learn much about the latter two, about logic and about rhetoric. So these logical fallacies, they're going to teach you how to evaluate arguments, so you'll be much more effective not only in debates, but evaluating other people's arguments. Okay, so things like the self-defeating fallacy. So in other words, if I say there's no such thing as universal truth, right away, that's a self-defeating fallacy, because if I said there's no such thing as universal truth, then that statement I just made cannot be universally truthful. So that would be an example. Next, one of the things that we do at Winning Mindset, we put together a series of word changes. Okay, so changing simple things that you say on a regular basis. I know we made videos about this in the past, but basically the point of this exercise, we have about a dozen of them, a dozen different word changes. If you haven't gotten it before from us, we'll send it to you now. But basically, we're taking a lot of these cognitive distortions, a lot of these logical fallacies. We're making very simple and practical word changes that are going to help you unclutter your mind. Again, you want your thinking to be positive, proactive, and clear. So very logical. It's got to make sense. So simple changes we make. Instead of saying the word problem, you could substitute that word for challenges. People hate problems. People love challenges. Simple change you could make. Another one you could make. Instead of saying the word worry, swap that word out for focus. So from now on, you're not worrying about this, you're focusing on this. And then finally, instead of using the words should, have to, must, ought to, need to, gotta, those words that add so much pressure to a task that we're doing, instead substituting the words want to, choose to, going to. Unless, of course, we're dealing with faith and morals, that's a different subject, but most things in life, it's not should, have to, need to, gotta, oughta, should. Instead, it's I want to, I choose to, I'm going to. It takes all the pressure off. So we want to give you that too. So 3 different lists: cognitive distortions, logical fallacies, and finally the word changes from our Winning Mindset Relaxing Under Pressure series. We're going to give all those to you. We want to help you unclutter your mind. We want your thinking to be positive. We want it to be proactive. We want to cut through all the garbage that years of experience, poor education, a lot of media, either intentionally or unintentionally has got into our head. We want to unclutter that mind so you're at your best when it means the most. That's not only in sports, but school, business, and your life. Mindset makes the difference.